Hello, South Texas, and thank you so much for joining us on our 3 News Plus app. Here to share with you a really fascinating and heartwarming story that came across our newsroom that tells a story of how a Corpus Christi native was recently honored in a very unique way. And here to help me talk about that very special and unique way that her grandfather was honored and memorialized is Naudia Perez, who joins us today from Houston. So Naudia, thank you so much for joining us here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Again, Naudia, from all of us here at 3 News, our sincerest condolences to you and your family on the loss of your grandfather, who was a Corpus Christi native. And I was reading a little bit about him. You guys have a very large and loving family, so I know he's missed by so many. So our condolences out to you. But I want
Thank
to talk
you.
to you about the beautiful way that you and your family chose to honor him, because it's pretty unique and something I had
It
personally
is.
never heard of before. So kind of talk to me about how this even came about.
Okay, so me and my mom, we actually work at a funeral home, and we know all the different ways to, I guess, honor your loved one. So we had to find something perfect and unique for him that fits him. So that's how we came about Celestis.
Wow, and I understand that this specific program, I was reading on the website, it's been around for a
Mm-hmm.
minute, 1994.
Yes.
But what was
Mm-hmm.
really interesting about this one was that this was Celeste's first
Mm-hmm.
ever orbital recover mission flight on board the Perseverance.
Yes.
And so talk to
Yes.
me
Yes.
about where your grandfather comes into play there.
So he's actually in a capsule with, I believe, 166 participants. And that capsule, well, the rocket goes up, the capsule gets released into space, and he'll orbit Earth. Once that orbit is finished, he'll land in the Pacific Ocean.
So you and your family, you traveled to California, near Santa Barbara, I understand, is where
Yes.
the launch took
Yes.
place. Had you ever experienced something like this before?
So, no, none of my family has ever really traveled. So the whole experience of the mountains and just the scenery in California was great and breathtaking. So every time we seen something so beautiful, we that was our grandpa's way of getting us out the house and experiencing something new.
That is such a beautiful and sweet sentiment, kind of like him motivating
Yes.
y'all to get out and travel as well. And
Yes.
yeah, and did you by chance, you mentioned there were several other participants that were also part of this launch. Did you get a chance to by
Mhm.
chance meet any of these other families who are also experiencing what you and your family did?
We didn't actually. We didn't. I really would have loved to, just because I'm sure they have their own perspective and stories about their loved one on why they did. So, but no, we didn't get to.
Yeah, because that would have been quite the experience, and like you said, the different perspectives of what that
Hmm.
meant to each person as an individual and
Hmm.
each family, right? Um,
Yeah, yeah.
had your grandfather talked about space exploration? Because I know this is now a topic that's trending. Obviously, since we first went to
Yeah.
the moon, right, this is like a big deal, right? But I feel like,
Oh, yeah.
especially lately, space talks have
Hmm.
just intensified. Is this something that your grandpa was always interested in?
So my grandpa, he loved space. Anything to do with aliens, anything to do with space. He actually has a picture of Saturn on his wall for over 33 years. But he loves space, and he actually didn't know about this until we brought it up. He was already, sick,
Hmm.
and he said he was a jokester. He didn't want a closet. He said, so he told my mom, "Do whatever you have to do. Just don't put me in the closet, please."
The closet, you said?
Yes, the closet. You know, when you get cremated,
Hmm.
some families will put their loved ones in the living room, or. So he's like, please don't do that. Just
Well, he can certainly rest peacefully assured that that was the complete
Yes,
opposite of what Shaw did
opposite.
here. Well,
Yeah.
that is really neat, and just to hear that he also had such a unique and vested interest also in space exploration. That's beautiful that you and your family were
Oh,
able
yeah.
to send him off in that way. To my knowledge, this is the first time. I would have to go and fact check, maybe look through our website. But to my knowledge, this is the first time I've heard of someone, a family from Corpus Christi, having participated in something like this. I'm not even sure if many folks
Yes.
from Texas have, something I'll have to look up as well. But, what does it mean for your family and your friends to kind of have spearheaded this effort and looked into something like this for your grandpa?
It is definitely an amazing experience. Like you said, nobody in Corpus has ever really done this. He was well known in Corpus because he did play music for over 55 years. So his music will get played on the radio. So just for his friends and his family to know that that's what we had for him, it's just so great. And family and friends, they all tuned in on the live and watched the takeoff. So it was great. It was good.
Very nice. Now, I want to piggyback off of something you said, because I know we've been talking about how he is
Hmm.
from Corpus Christi, and I was reading up about him that he is
Hmm.
very well known
Yes.
in our music community, having been a musician, even inducted, I
Hmm.
read, into the Tejano Conjunto Roots Hall of Fame, brought home an award. So his spirit's also memorialized in the through the art of music. And so, what does it
Oh,
mean
yeah.
for you when you hear, one of his songs playing?
So it definitely means a lot that the radio still plays his music on the radio. Also, just a quick little story when we were having his funeral services, we stepped outside to grab some things from the car, and just so happened my mom had the radio on. And she was getting ready to drive off. As soon as she was driving off, they played his song at his funeral. So she reversed and she played it so loud, and we all went outside. We were dancing to his music, and it was a great experience. I mean, even though he did pass, he still showed he's with us.
That's such a beautiful way to remember him, and especially on that day.
Yes.
Thank you for
Yes.
sharing that. So he, of course, he was a musician. He's explored space in such a unique way. What
Mhm.
else do you want Corpus Christi and beyond to know about your grandfather, Mr. Pablo Perez?
I just want y'all to know that he was. Sorry, I don't want to get emotional.
No, it's okay.
Um, he definitely was such a great person, in and out. Anytime there was a problem, he didn't even focus on the problem. He wanted to get everything solved. He always was the calmest guy, the one to figure it out, the man of the house, the man of the family. So I just want y'all to know that he is grateful for everybody that's streamed his music, everybody that has loved him and his family, and we just thank Corpus Christi and Celeste to help us get through this experience.
That's so sweet. And I think we all, if we're so fortunate, right, to have a person in our lives who's kind of that go-to, the fixer, and it sounds like your
Yes,
grandfather was that for your family. So that's so sweet. And then
definitely.
last question for you, Nadia, as someone who's now
Mhm,
been through this very unique experience,
mhm.
what would be your message for other families who may, hear your family story and are like, wow, that's very interesting. I'm a little on the fence
Yeah,
about it. It's a little out there, figuratively
it
and
is.
literally. But what might
It
be your
is.
advice?
So, my advice to families is always talk to your loved ones and try to find out what their wishes are. Just because we don't really know until we talk about it. It is a hard and stressful conversation, but it is a conversation that needs to be had. So, if we didn't talk about it with my grandfather, we would have never known that's something that he would be okay with us doing. So, just to the families, talk about it, please, And I hope you guys are able to experience this if this is what you want to. It's a great experience for the family.
Yeah, it sounds like it was a shared exciting experience for you all, even though it could be, and it I'm sure was at times very somber and mournful. You also got to celebrate your grandfather's life in such a
Yes, his
special way
life.
that we never hear of people celebrating their loved one's life that way.
Right.
Well, Nadia, that's all the questions really that I had, but is there anything else that you want to mention about your grandfather's, his legacy or his memory, or about the experience that maybe I did not ask about that you think would be helpful to share?
Um, we're very grateful. Grateful that his life is able to travel beyond this world. He was full of strength and wisdom, and now he's a part of something that's going to be eternal. So we're just very grateful and happy.
Beautifully, beautifully said, Nadia. And I know he's got to be so proud of his granddaughter and all of his family for sending him off in such a wonderful way.
Yes.
That's all the questions I had, and I understand we're going to get some really neat pictures from the group that you guys participated in this program with. So we look forward to that. But Nadia, thank you so much for hopping on this interview and sharing with us a little bit more insight about this really cool opportunity.
Yes, thank you so much for having me and listening to our story.
Of course. Thank you, Nadia. You take care, okay?
You too.
Bye.
Bye.